This is my reading material. I'm never gonna feel this way about a book series ever again. I love reading. No. No, no, no. I thought we went through the worst of it. I thought the plot twist had happened, but no. Hi! Another reading challenge or 24-hour vlog. I'm starting this on Friday evening actually. Cammy's away today and tomorrow, so I have a full weekend of just uninterrupted reading time. So we're gonna do another 24-hour reading challenge. It's gonna be in the same formats as the other ones where I'll set a timer for 24 hours and I'll pause it to sleep and only time my actual reading time. And tonight I already know what I'm going to read. I'm not going to pick out books that I wanna read throughout the 24 hours until later. Cooper is playing with a toy. But I started the second book in the Kindred's Curse. I read Spark of the Everflame in my last reading vlog, and today I started book 2 because I had to know what happens. There are a few books that I want to read. I want to read the second book from Heir of Broken Fate in this vlog, but I'm going to save that tomorrow because I have a feeling that it's going to be emotionally traumatic and I'm just not ready for that tonight. So reading the second book, got my hair done today, so I was reading it in the salon, but I got 20% of the way. I'm 131 pages in and I know that I'm going to finish this tonight because I read the last one all in one sitting in one night, so I know I'll finish this. And when I've finished this book, I want to read From Blood and Ash second. It's damaged. Some of the books I'm going to be reading in this vlog, like the second book in the series from the last reading vlog, but there's also going to be new books, I promise. Just bear with. But right now we need to continue some of them. This is also a really big one, so I don't know. It could take me longer and I might not be able to read it in the whole thing in this one, but I at least want to start it. So we're gonna finish and read this book now. No, 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 no. Oh, we are 133 pages into this book and the main character has been so insufferable. Oh. Anyways, if you didn't watch my last reading vlog, you should go and watch it and then you'll see me reading the first book in this series. I highly recommend reading it. It is a fantasy book that I don't see too many people talking about, and if you like the politics of the Cruel Prince and you don't mind romance being a subplot, or at least like a really slow burn, then I think you'll like this. I just really love this book. I don't know if it's going to be one of my favorite book series ever, but at the moment I'm really enjoying it and I want to keep reading and see what happens. But essentially this mortal lives in a magical world like every other fantasy book ever, let's be real. There's 9 realms and not all of them allow humans to live in there. They're quite like, everyone hates humans, humans are scum, like every fantasy book. And this healer, the main character DM is a healer. Her mum goes missing and her mum was a healer for the king. DM tries to step up and take her place and she ends up meeting this prince who's going to become the king because the king is dying and she hates him, he apparently hates her. There's a revolution happening against the Descended, which are what the magical, I wouldn't even say fae, but like maybe, are they fae? I don't know. The magical people in this world are called the Descended. Our main character DM is a mortal, but she's not like other mortals. The events that happened in book 1, book 2 immediately picks up straight from the jump. Like you finish book 1, book 2 is exactly what happens next. But DM has become so insufferable. Like whatever happened at the end of book 1, she's just like gone and shut herself off and is now just being so irrational. I'm like, oh my god, if you just spoke to each other, like all of the main characters really, so much communication would be sorted, but she's just making stupid decisions right now. And oh, the main male character though, Luther, yeah, he's so good. Yeah, I just want to scream at my Kindle, but I am living for every second of it. It's drama. So yeah, a lot of politics, a very slow burn, but the fantasy world and what's happening and the character development and the story and the plot, and there's mystery and just so much good stuff. I'm having an absolute ball. Oh, and we're about to get a ball scene as well, which is just always the best in a fantasy book. Back to the book we go. 50% of the way through and 3 hours in, and we're moving to the bedroom so I can read comfortably in bed because it's getting later now and I want to finish this book in bed and then start a bit of the next one. I can't stop giggling. I cannot stop kicking my feet. I'm absolutely obsessed. Fantasy books, heavy on the plot and character development and politics with a subplot of like romantic tension is my new favorite thing. There are so many times in my life where I read 5-star books like Throne of Glass and just think, I'm never gonna feel this way about a book series ever again. And then I read something like this. Wow. Anyways, I need to read. Too much chatting, not enough figuring out what is happening. I need to know what's gonna happen next, so let's keep reading. Good morning, it's the next day. I obviously paused the timer to sleep, but we are back. And I finished Glow of the Everflame, and this is my new favorite read. This is 5 stars. This was so good. The feeling it gave me, I can't stop thinking about it. I want to go in and read the next one, but I'm gonna hold off because that would be such a boring video of you just watching me read the same book series. Wow, please read this book. Oh my gosh. Yeah, speechless. I just love this. This is everything to me. And then I did pick up Kingdom of Flesh and Fire yesterday, which is From Blood and Ash book 2. I got a couple chapters in, so we're going to continue reading this, but I think I'm going to pick up a book or two to bring through with me to potentially read as options. Because if I get bored of this, because it is a big book, I can like swap it out, put it down for a bit, or just like other books I want to read in this challenge. This is part of my TBR. Recent book I got was, I call it This Cruel and Lovely, but it looks pretty big. Yeah, it's like 500 something pages. So I don't think I'm gonna read that. A Dawn of Onyx looks like it could be pretty easy to read. Again, that's like 400 pages. But I really want to read Guild. I think I want to read Guild. I also want to read Kingdom of the Wicked, but I don't know if I'm ready to pick up another series yet. I have all 3 books, but I feel like I'm reading a lot of series. Like I'm reading From Blood and Ash and then The Kindred's Curse. I also have the second book from Heir of Broken Fate that I want to read, which is a series. Like, I mean, Guild is a series, but I only have the first book, so I can only read the first book. So I think we're gonna pick A Fate Inked in Blood by Danielle L. Jensen. And then I think we're also gonna pick up Guild, the first book in the Plated Prisoner series. I'd like to read both of these in this reading vlog. This is literally just reading fantasy books. Anyways, these are the books I'm going to be reading. And then of course we have the second From Blood and Ash book. I read the second book in the Kindred's Curse, and we also have Heir of Broken Kingdom, is it? The second book in the Heir of Broken Fate series. So this is my reading material for this reading vlog. Maybe if I'm not feeling any of them, I can pick up something else. I'm just not really in a romance mood at the moment. I just want to read fantasy books. So we're gonna read fantasy books. One of the things about this book is everything is so descriptive. Like if you're gonna read From Blood and Ash, you will have everything written out in such detailed descriptive writing. So the pace is a lot slower, if that makes sense, because they tell you everything. So we're getting everything in detail, and we've literally been in like one scene, well not one scene, but like one point of the plot for 170 pages and nothing else has happened yet. I personally don't mind it. It does make reading it a lot slower, which is why I think I'll probably get to like 300 pages and then swap books just for like a change of pace and come back to this. I don't think I can sit and read this in one full sitting. I think my brain would switch off. And because of the amount of detail there is in these books, you kind of want to remember everything because it's all relevant. I'm gonna keep reading, try and get to like around 300 pages or so, and then swap books, maybe change the pace. I think I might pick up Guild because that seems like it'll be pretty quick and easy to read. I said when I got to like 50% that I would stop, that I would pick up a new book, but it's just getting good. I don't know. Maybe I should just finish it. Maybe I just fuck it. Let's see, how many pages? What does Goodreads say? What's the percentage that I'm through? Okay, I'm only 48%. I don't know, we'll see. I need to feed Cooper and I'm gonna get into some comfy pajamas and stuff. So we're gonna take a little pause and come back and then we'll see if I can pick this up. It's getting good. Oh, I love reading. Good morning. We have 12 hours of reading to get done today. In bed last night, I made a bit of a dent into Heir of Broken Kingdom and it picks straight up from book 1. Like if you finish book 1 and go straight into book 2, you're gonna be so satisfied. It literally just carries straight on and I love when books do that. There's no like faffing about, there's no slow entry into the book. It's like, nope, we're going straight into it and straight into the action. So the first 100 or so pages have already been like action packed. So it's very easy to just keep reading. So I think I'm gonna read this because I think I can get this done very quickly. But I do think it's going to be quite an emotional read. I feel like some bad things are going to happen. I feel like book 1 was almost too good to be true. And I feel like book 2 it's going to hurt. So we're going to read this. Let's continue on with the reading. I fear this book is going to be my downfall. Book 1 is like enemies to lovers. Book 2 is lovers. And it's so sweet. I can't say what I want to say because I don't want to spoil it for anyone. Knox, I'm so mad that he's not actually real. I will never be able to hear the word angel ever again and not think about him. I'm having bad thoughts about where this book is going and there's been some things that I think are foreshadowing and there's some shady characters. One particular character I've had beef with since book 1, but I feel like that's the point. So I feel like it's either going to go down the direction of, yeah, they're going to be shady and like betray us, or they're not and it's going to be someone else that's come out and just like completely surprised me. But I don't have very good feelings about where this is going, but also the plot and the direction that this story is taken from book 1 to 2 is not where I thought it was going to go in the best way possible. Like the way that book 1 ended is it was left on a cliffhanger, but you still got closure for the events that wrapped up. So there wasn't like a direct of, oh no, this thing's happened now, what do we do? And then book 2 is doing that. This is like, okay, there's different directions that this could go. This is not what I thought it was going to be, but I'm so glad it is. Like, I don't know, it's very creative. And there's so many things that have been brought up and mentioned and referred to, and it's almost as if they're being said and you're like, okay, like this is what's happening, but I know that there's underlying meaning and like things are gonna start clicking. I just know. So I'm like, I keep noticing them and I'm like, we're gonna find out why this is. We're gonna get answers to this. Like, I'm getting really into it, as you can see. And I'm on chapter 16, which is just under 40% of the way through, so we're gonna keep reading, but oh man, I'm not ready. I'm really not ready. I don't want the book to end, because when it ends, it means it's done. Like there's only book 1 and book 2 out. I don't know if there's gonna be a book 3, but like, I'm not ready for the story to end. Why can't we have fated mates in the human world? I want to be able to speak into my boyfriend's head and communicate with him like that. Like, that's so fucking cool. Every time I read a fantasy book, I'm like, why can't I have a pet dragon? Why can't I wear Illyrian leathers and carry a dagger strapped to my thigh at all times? Like, that's all I want. I feel like I am just procrastinating finishing this book, and I don't want it to end. So we're just gonna keep reading because we have to. It's a reading challenge. It's a readathon. I'm 75% of the way through and we've just had like a big plot twist that I did not see coming. But why can't she say those 3 words? I don't have good feelings about this. No, I have to be overthinking it. Oh, this book is gonna hurt my feelings. the hood is up because I am in mourning. I said before, I don't know how many books there are going to be, but there's going to be another one. If there's not, I will fly to Australia and force mats myself to continue writing this story, because it clearly just doesn't end there. I didn't cry while I was reading it, but I feel like I'm going to cry now. Oh. Please read these books. Like I said in my only reading fantasy books for a week, if you like ACOTAR, you'll like this. I still stand by that, because it has so many like tropes and elements of fantasy stories that we, us book girlies, love. You feel like you know what's going to happen in the direction that the story's going to take, but you don't. You know absolutely nothing. Nothing at all. I thought we went through the worst of it. I thought the plot twist had happened, but no. I thought wrong. Oh, I'm so upset. In the best way possible. Like, I need like 15 minutes to process what I just read and how I feel, and then I'll start Guild, because we still have like 9 hours in this challenge left for some reason. I don't know why. I just keep finishing books and time just doesn't seem to be going by. I read this in 2 hours. In my defense, the pages and the words are like printed quite large, so it was very easy to read, but I don't think this has like a high word count, which is why it took me 2 hours to read. Very interesting. I know that there is a lot of like controversial opinions when it comes to this book, especially with just like how vulgar it is, but then again it's hard to explain. Like, the men in this world and the way they view women and stuff is disgusting, but that's the world. That, for me, that doesn't take away the plot and like the story. And the story in this book, we've not even scratched the surface. So I have already ordered the next books, because this was just like a teaser. I feel like the whole time I was reading it, I was like, okay, what is the plot of this? Like, it was just world building and introducing us to the main characters, but not even the main characters, just like 2 of them. Like, I know there is more, but it was so easy to read. Like, I just kept reading. It was very short chapters. I mean, because it was all world building. I wouldn't say the pace is fast, but it was fast enough that I just kept going through it. And it has made me feel like I could go and read another 5 books now. Re-energized me, because I have been reading really big, heavy fantasy books. So I picked up this one, and to finish in 2 hours is like, sorry, what? I do wish that I already had the next book to start reading straight away, because I'm like, this can't be it. Let's read the next one. Hello, it is obviously a little bit later. I was reading last night, so I finished A Fate Inked in Blood. This was so much fun. This was, I think it's got Norse mythology in it. It was very like Vikings, Scandi Nordic vibes. It was my first book of Danielle L. Jensen's that I've read, and I gave this a 4 stars. I thought it was really fun. I would recommend it, especially because it is something different. I don't think I'm gonna think about it too much once I've put it down, so yeah, I think around 4 stars works pretty well for this book. And then I started on my Kindle, as you saw, the 3rd book in the Kindred's Curse saga. I got 20% in, which was just over like 200 and something pages. And then the timer went off for the 24 hours, so 6 books we were reading in this vlog. Obviously the 6th one wasn't finished in the 24 hours. Very fun, some really good reads. I think you can tell by watching this which ones are my favourites and which ones I would recommend reading. And I love doing these little 24-hour reading challenges when I have free weekends and time to myself, just for uninterrupted reading time. There's honestly no better feeling than just being able to just like sit and read my books. I really enjoyed this. I hope you did too. If you want to see more reading vlogs or do another reading challenge, then let me know in the comments below. I hope that you have subscribed by now. If you haven't, make sure you hit the subscribe button, and I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye.